Great. So, talking about some deeper stretching today and the lower body. So, if I was going to do a deep stretching session for myself with unlimited time, what I would do is I would do a general warm up first, something to the point that I'm getting to be slightly sweating, regardless of the season, slightly sweating. And then I would do a specific warm up for my body. Today, we're going to just jump in with the specific warm up for the lower body. And then we'll get into some more passive, slightly longer hold stretches. Obviously, just like any other session, if those longer holds aren't feeling quite right, um, back out of them, go in and out the way that we often do. And if you were to do that general warm up first, you'd probably be more comfortable stretching and you will probably be able to go deeper into the stretch. That's part of the reason that happens. Um, it's also safer to stretch that way. So I wouldn't push yourself as much as if you had done that full protocol. So diving into it, let's get specific. So lower body, we're going to start off with a specific warm up for our hamstrings and hip flexors. Hip flexors are quite often tight and weak, and the hip flexors are a group of muscles that flex your hips. So sort of bring your knee up towards your chest. Quads are involved, iliopsoas is involved, a whole bunch of things are involved. We're just going to think about the functional group. So I'm warming up, strengthening, bringing my knee up, and then I'm just going to strengthen the opposing muscle group by bringing my heel back. I'm trying not to arch through my back here. I'm trying to keep my pelvis slightly tucked as I bring my leg behind me, and then keep my body nice and neutral as I bring my knee up. So I'm standing on my right leg this whole time. I'm holding on for support. You could certainly hold on with two hands if you're more comfortable that way. If you do have one hand free, like I do, you can add just a little bit of resistance for yourself by having your knee hit your hand, and it can be wherever you want to hit your hand. Pause, squeeze into that, and then bring your heel back. Pause, see if you can squeeze your heel up a little bit higher, and then keep it going. So we're going to go back and forth a few times here. And I don't know how well you can see, but I'm just squashing into my hand nice and firmly, feeling those muscles engage, and then switching. So let's switch to the other side. I'm going to be standing on my left leg now and moving my right leg. So pause and pause, checking in with your posture, trying to stay up nice and tall as you do this. You'll notice that I keep my hand in the same spot every time, just to sort of keep that leg honest. The leg never wants to be honest. Nice. One more each direction. Beautiful. So we were moving the leg forward and back. We want to also move the leg out to the side. So I'll just start off standing on my right leg again and bringing my leg straight out to the side. You'll notice my knee is pointing forward. Hopefully you can see that my toes are pointing forward as well. Straight up to the side. Pause, see if I can squeeze up a little higher, and then come down. Nice. We'll just go for about 5 here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to externally rotate our legs. So um, I'm rotating through my hip socket so that my knee is facing to my left, straight over towards that wall to my left, and so are my toes. It may not actually go that far. So if you're at a 45-degree angle, if you're more than 90 degrees, that's okay. But we're aiming for that external rotation. And now I'm going to bring my leg up again. Again, just going for about 5. And then we'll switch sides. So like straight out to the side. Going slowly to make sure that you're truly getting to the end of your range of motion, can't bring it up any higher, and then coming down. Sometimes if you do that pause and you really think about it, you're like, oh, it does go up a little bit higher. And then sometimes you have the opposite where you're like, wow, I thought that would go higher than that. So I've done 5 with my knee pointing straight forward. Now I'm going to externally rotate and do 5 with my knee going up towards the ceiling. Hopefully you can tell that I'm not using too much momentum here. Beautiful. All right, so now we're going to plant our toes on the floor, standing on the right leg. Plant my left toes on the floor, and I'm going to bring my left knee in towards my right knee and then out. Just getting a nice little pivot here. Feeling that rotation so I can rotate inward a little bit more. Beautiful. And let's switch to the other side. So got my right toes sort of popped onto the floor, and I'm rotating in and out. So this specific warm-up not only helps to vascularize your tissues and help you loosen up through your joints a little bit, it's also really great for developing the strength that is helpful to use your own muscles to pull yourself into a position. So a little more active flexibility happening here. Beautiful. All right, now we're going to come a little closer to the ground. I've got a yoga mat underneath me. You don't need to have one. If you are able to get on the ground, we're going to be in a lunge position, and I'll start off with my legs in a 90-degree angle for the bottom and a 90-degree angle for the other leg. If you can't get onto the floor, if this isn't comfortable for you, anything like that, just do a big step. This will be more relaxing for you than trying to hover here. Hopefully that makes sense. If your knees are just like a little bit delicate, this isn't the most comfortable, you can always double up the yoga mat a little bit and fold it over, put down a cushion. If you're doing it at home, you may even be able to do this on your bed. It is nice to have something to hold on to, especially your first couple of times doing this. So taking your pelvis and tucking your tailbone under. So tucking through the pelvis to start off with. May already feel stretched through your hip flexors here. And then I'm just going to bring my hips forward in space until I feel a nice stretch. Now for me, it doesn't really take that much before I'm feeling a nice stretch. You may well be much more flexible. Some people will be way out here. I would encourage you to keep a mental eye on that lower back. Make sure you're not arching there. Make sure that you're isolating through your hip flexors here. And as you take a few breaths, you might notice that you're able to extend a little bit farther forward. You can check in with yourself. I have my left leg going back, my right leg going forward. I can draw my right hip bone back in space a little bit, left hip bone forward a little bit, tucking through the pelvis a little bit more. And if that feels great, I can also bring my left arm up and over to change the stretch a little bit. Now we're trying to relax into this position and stay in it. If that's working out for you, it feels good, go for that. If it's not feeling good, you can always come in and out a few times as we're hanging out here. Whenever you're ready to mix it up, we're going to draw our hips back in space. I'm going to straighten out through my right leg, and I'm going to get a little bit of a hamstring stretch. So I'll act out the rest of the standing for you standing folks. If I'm doing the hamstring stretch, I'm going to just tip the top of my pelvis towards my toes. I don't have to worry about what my upper body is doing. That's going to stay as long and tall as possible. We're just tipping the top of the pelvis, drawing my right hip back in space, left hip forward in space again. And if it feels a little bit tense, you could, of course, come in and out of it. You can also move your body side to side to get a little bit of a relaxing jiggle without forcing yourself too deep into the stretch. And you can also point and flex through your foot. So flexing through the ankle or pointing your toes here. You'll notice an increase in the stretch as you're flexing through the ankle. Go ahead and just hold for a few seconds. And if you are standing, it is nice to have something to hold on to so you can relax into this a little bit more. You aren't having to like hold and force it. So in an ideal world, you would have your friendly support stool that you would have your hands on here. Lovely. All right, all we're gonna do now is we're gonna switch sides. So I'll do this one standing now. If you were on the floor and you're comfortable there, you would be in the 90-90 position to start off with. But either way, we're gonna tuck our pelvis, find that stretch through the right hip flexor this time. Now my left leg is forward, right leg is back. And just take a few breaths there, settle in, relax into it. If you want to intensify, adjust your position, sort of square up those hips by moving the left hip bone back in space, right hip bone forward. See if you can drop in a little bit more. And then if you'd like to, you can include the arm. So reaching up and over with my right arm now. And of course, just to be responsible, I'm always checking in with my body. So making sure that things feel good, feel right, feel comfortable, and we're good to go. Nice. One more really deep breath here. As we finish exploring that stretch, then we'll move into the hamstring stretch on this side. So whether you're on the floor or you're standing, you're going to tip the top of your pelvis down towards your toes. So it's like a bowl of water and you're pouring a little water out the front. If you enjoyed it on the other side, you can bring your upper body back and forth, swaying side to side to just get some angles on that stretch as you keep the top of the pelvis towards your toes. And you can flex and point through your ankle. We're still in that lengthened hamstring position, but we're just offering a little bit of variety for our body. Beautiful. And now just relaxing, getting that static hold in. Lovely. All right, come on out. Just gonna do one more stretch to finish off. It's the figure four stretch. So I'll be standing on my right leg, my left leg will be making this number four shape. I'm showing you facing you, but you should have your hands on something just for balance. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna tip forward, getting a nice stretch through the outside of your hip here. You know, mentally drawing that left knee back in space, flexing through the foot. And if you would like to move your upper body back and forth here, As you're relaxing into that stretch, you can. If you are doing this laying down on your back, you can also hold onto your foot, bring it across your body, bring it up, draw a circle. Really enjoy. Switching sides whenever you're ready. We're going to take the right foot, make our figure four here, and then tip forward through our pelvis. Now, holding on to something, it'll look like this. You can bend your knee to find that stretch. You can move your upper body side to side. And you can breathe deeply as you relax into the position. Whenever you're ready, come on out, give yourself a little shake, and that's your movement break for today. Hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Take care.